The galaxy celebrated as if a great evil had been erased. Across 1,000 star systems, alien voices shouted in victory. Duh. Bright lights and banners filled the sky of the Dominion's core worlds. Their leaders stood in their towering halls, their voices echoing on every channel. Earth is gone. The Terrans are no more. The message repeated again and again. Every world under the Dominion's control heard the same words. The war was over. Humanity was finished, or so they believed. The fall of Earth. Final attack came without warning. Earth's skies were filled with fire as Dominion fleets rained destruction on the cities below. The once blue world turned black and red. Megacities built over centuries crumbled in minutes under orbital strikes. Millions screamed, but no one could hear them through the chaos. The Dominion called this strike the cleansing. They told their people that humans were too dangerous to be left alive. Terrans are violent. Terrans cannot be trusted. If they are not destroyed, they will destroy us. The Dominion fleets hit not only Earth, but every colony humanity had built. Mars burned. Europa's stations were torn apart. The great space docks of Titan were ripped into dust. Even the mining colonies beyond Neptune were hunted down. No ship was spared by the time the firestorms ended. The Earth was silent. The galactic broadcasts, the Dominion's High Council held their victory broadcast. 7 alien rulers, tall, thin, and cruel-looking, stood inside a chamber made of black crystal. The High Speaker, a creature with pale silver skin and 6 narrow eyes, raised its voice. The Terran threat has been erased. Their world is dust. Their fleets are gone. No more will these Deathworlders stain the galaxy with war. Let this day be remembered as the day we brought peace. The crowd outside roared in approval. Now billions believed them. But not everyone in the galaxy felt peace. Some alien traitors and outlaws whispered in the shadows. Humans were dangerous, yes, but they were clever. Too clever to die so easily. The survivors, they were right. Some humans survived, scattered among the stars. Few ships managed to escape the slaughter. These were not mighty warships or organized fleets. They were broken freighters, old shuttles, and damaged military cruisers limping through the void. One such ship, the Horizon's Dawn, drifted silently through the cold darkness beyond the Dominion's borders. Its engines were weak, and its hull was scarred from battle. Inside, only 50 survivors remained. Captain Jareth Cole stood in the command chamber, staring at the stars. His face was tired, his eyes hollow. But there was fire in his voice when he finally spoke. "Earth is gone," he said quietly, "but we are not." The crew around him said nothing. Some cried softly. Others simply sat, staring at their hands, too numb to feel anything. Among them was Alara Miles, a young engineer whose family had died in the first wave of the attack. She broke the silence. "What do we do now, Captain? Where do we even go?" Jareth's voice hardened. "We go where they cannot find us. We go beyond their reach." A hunt begins. The Dominion did not stop hunting. Patrol fleets were sent into every dark corner of space to hunt down the survivors. They called them Terran ghosts. The Dominion feared them not because of their numbers, but because of what humans might do if left alive. On a Dominion ship, the warlord Corval spoke with anger. "We cannot leave even one human alive. You know what they are? They are not like us. They learn. They adapt. One human ship today, 1,000 tomorrow. Erase them all." Open the dark. Captain Jareth knew they could not run forever. Their supplies were low, their weapons few, and their ships failing. But then, something strange happened. The Horizon's Dawn picked up a signal. It wasn't a Dominion transmission. It wasn't even from known space. It was old. Very old. The signal repeated only 3 words: rise and fight. The crew stared at the strange message as it echoed in the chamber. Alara whispered, "Who sent this?" Jareth frowned. "Not." "Who?" he said. "But where?" The forgotten beacon. They traced the signal to a region of space that no Dominion ship dared to enter. The Black Reach, it was a graveyard of dead stars and broken planets. A place even pirates avoided. Legends said the Black Reach was haunted by machines from an ancient war. Long before any modern species walked the galaxy, but Jareth didn't care. He looked at the map and made his decision. Set course for the Black Reach, he ordered. If this signal is a trap, we'll die anyway. But if it's not, maybe it's what we need. The Dominion celebrates. While the survivors ran into the void, the Dominion celebrated even more. In their cities, they raised monuments to their so-called victory. The High Speaker gave another message. The Terrans are no more. Their memory is ashes. Their spirit is broken. But one Dominion admiral, a sharp-minded strategist named Rilker, wasn't convinced. He studied the battle reports. He saw strange gaps, ships missing, colonies with no bodies, entire sectors where human fleets simply vanished. They are not gone, Rilker muttered to himself. They are hiding. He sent scouts into the uncharted sectors, hoping to find the truth. The leaders view in the horizon's dawn. Captain Jareth gathered his crew. He stood in front of them, his voice strong despite his pain. Listen to me. They think we are dead. They think they have broken us. But they don't know what it means to be human. The room was silent. We will rise again. We will not just survive, we will return. And they will remember what humans are. The survivors felt something they hadn't felt in weeks. Hope. Small, fragile hope, but enough to keep them alive. A dangerous journey. The horizon's dawn jumped into the Black Reach. The space around them was strange, dark clouds of energy. Silent wreckage of ships from unknown civilizations, and dead planets that looked shattered by ancient wars. Ilara stared out the window. What is this place? Jareth answered quietly. A graveyard. Maybe a warning, or maybe a chance. They explored the ruins. They found strange structures, huge black towers floating in space, still alive with faint power. The signal grew stronger. It repeated again. Rise and fight. The first discovery, the survivors landed on a broken world in the Black Reach. There, hidden under the ruins of a city older than Earth itself, they found a massive machine. It wasn't Dominion technology. It wasn't human. It was something far. Older Ilara touched the metal surface and felt it hum. This thing. It's alive, she whispered. Jareth looked at it, his heart pounding. If this machine is what I think it is, he said, then maybe we have a chance. The last scene. Hook, as the crew worked to power the ancient machine, the signal changed. It no longer said rise and fight. Now it said something even more chilling. We have waited for you. The crew stared at the glowing console in shock. Ilara stepped back, fear in her eyes.
Captain?
What if this isn't help? If it's something worse? Jareth smiled, but his smile was not one of comfort. Then we'll make it ours, he said, because we have no other choice. Turned to his crew, his voice low but filled with fire. They tried to erase us, but we are not finished. Not yet. The machine's voice echoed in the dark. Chamber beneath the ruined planet, we have waited for you. No one moved. The crew of the Horizon's Dawn stood frozen, their faces pale in the dim glow of the alien console. The words were not just heard, they were felt. They vibrated through their bones, as if the machine itself spoke inside their minds. Ilara stepped back, clutching her tool pack. Captain, she whispered, I don't like this. It feels wrong. Captain Jareth Cole did not look away from the console.
Ow.
His jaw tightened. Wrong or not, this is the only thing we found that isn't trying to kill us. The dead world, the planet they had landed on, was nothing but black rock and broken ruins. It had no name on any Dominion map. From orbit, it looked dead just. Another graveyard world in the Black Reach, but under the surface lay something different. Massive corridors, stretched like veins through the rock, lined with strange black metal. The walls pulsed faintly, as though the planet itself still lived. And at the heart of it was the machina, colossal structure, half buried, with a surface smoother than glass. The crew had been exploring for hours. Moving carefully through the ruins, they had seen strange carvings, tall humanoid statues, and symbols that glowed faintly when touched. None of it made sense. Then, when Alara connected her scanner to the machine, it spoke. "We have waited for you." A choice in the dark, the crew gathered around Jareth, their faces filled with fear and curiosity. Lieutenant Rion, ship's weapons officer, crossed his arms. "Sir, we don't know what this thing is. For all we know, it could kill us." Jareth's eyes didn't leave the console. "Or it could save us." "Save us?" Rion laughed bitterly. "There are 50 of us left, Captain. 50. We're one half-broken freighter and a dying crew. What could this machine do for us?" "Maybe everything," Jareth said quietly. Alara spoke up, her voice trembling but firm. "The energy readings on this thing, it's not just a machine, it's a power source. It's bigger than anything I've ever seen. If we can learn how to control it, maybe we can build something to fight back." There was silence. Finally, Jareth looked around at his people. "We have two choices. We leave this place and keep running until the Dominion finds us, or we take a chance on this. We can't keep running forever." One by one, the crew nodded. Fear gave way to something else, determination. The Awakanning Jareth placed his hand on the console. It was cold, like frozen metal. He took a breath. "If you can hear me," he said slowly, "we are humans. We were attacked. Our world is gone. We need help." The black warship floated above the ruined planet like a shadow made of steel and fire. Its surface was smooth, reflecting nothing, as though it drank the light around it. Strange blue lines pulsed across its hull, glowing like veins of living energy. The humans aboard the Horizon's Dawn stared at it through the hangar windows. For days, they had worked to bring the ship to life. Now, it hovered in silence, waiting. Captain Jareth Cole stood in the hangar bay with his crew. His voice was calm, but filled with a fire that none of them had heard before. "This ship is not human. It's not ours. But it might be our future. We will call it the Revenant." Alara Miles, the young engineer, nodded, her hands trembling. With both fear and excitement, "It's ready, Captain, but I don't know if I can explain how. It's like it wants to fight for us." The Revenant awakens. The interior of the Revenant was nothing like a human-built ship. Its walls were smooth black metal, shifting faintly as though alive. There were no traditional controls, only strange crystalline surfaces that glowed when touched. Jareth placed his hand on the command pedestal. Instantly, the ship responded. The lights brightened. The engines hummed. The ship felt aware. "It's like it knows me," Jareth murmured. Alara's voice cracked with awe. "Captain, I think these ships are bonded. They respond to thought, not just touch." When Jareth imagined moving forward, the ship drifted forward without hesitation. When he thought of the stars, the holographic canopy lit up, showing a perfect 360-degree view of the galaxy. "This thing isn't a ship," Jareth said softly. "It's a weapon with a soul." Dominion scouts arrived while the humans tested their new warship far beyond the Black Reach. Admiral Rilker's scouts entered the dead system, where Earth's survivors had been hiding. The lead scout ship, the Varlex, sent a report back to the Dominion fleet. "Admiral, we have detected unknown energy signatures in the Black Reach. This power source, it is not Dominion tech. It is stronger." Rilker narrowed his reptilian eyes. "Stronger? Then destroy it before it spreads." 3 smaller Dominion frigates moved into the system. The warning on the Horizon's Dawn, alarms sounded. "Incoming ships." Here shouted Rion, the weapons officer. A Dominion patrol. 4 vessels, closing fast. The crew froze. They had no real weapons. The Horizon's Dawn was a damaged freighter. It's barely holding together. Jareth turned to Alara. "How fast can we get the Revenant armed?" "It's already armed," Alara said with a nervous smile. "We just need to tell it what to hit." First Flight Jareth climbed into the Revenant's command chamber. The walls glowed as if welcoming him. "Open the hangar," he ordered. The crew watched in silence as the black warship lifted off the forge floor, engines humming with a sound like a distant storm. The hangar door split open, and the Revenant rose into the void. From the Dominion frigate, the sight of the alien ship made the commander pause. "What is that?" "That's not Terentech." "Destroy it," another officer ordered. The Dominion ships fired, first bright beams of plasma streaking across space. The battle begins inside the Revenant. Jareth didn't move his hands to control the ship. Instead, he thought, and the ship moved. It dodged the plasma beams like a predator, avoiding clumsy attacks. "Weapons," Jareth said. "Target the nearest frigate." The Revenant's hull glowed, and from its sides, black energy lances shot out fast, silent, and deadly. The Dominion frigate exploded in a burst of blue fire. The humans watching from the horizon's dawn gasped. "Did you see that?" Ilara whispered. "One shot, and it's gone." The fear of the remaining Dominion ships turned in panic. "What kind of weapon is that?" their commander shouted. "Treat. Send word to the admiral there. Is something new out here?" But Jareth wasn't going to let them escape. "No survivors," he said coldly. The Revenant shot forward faster than any Dominion ship. Its weapons cut through their shields like paper. In less than 2 minutes, all 3 frigates were reduced to burning wreckage. The crew shocked when the battle ended. The Revenant returned to the horizon's dawn. Jareth stepped out of the black warship, his face pale but hard. No one spoke. For a moment, then Ilara whispered, "Captain, we just destroyed 4 Dominion ships, with 1. Jareth looked at her, his voice low. "This is only the beginning. We are going to build more of these. We're going to hunt them." The Dominion responds. Admiral Relker slammed his clawed hand against the table as he read the scout report. The last transmission was clear. "Unknown black warship Terran. Survivors confirmed. Our fleet is gone." Rilker turned to his officers. "They found something in the Black Reach. Something powerful. Mobilize the fleet. I want every warship ready. The Terrans will not rise again." Black forges. Gift back in the forge, the machine's voice returned, echoing through the chamber like a song of war. "You have tasted blood. Now, you must grow stronger. The forge is awake. Build your fleet." Ilara studied the blueprints that the forge projected. "Captain, it's giving us designs. Can build warships, hundreds of them if we have the resources." "Then we'll get the resources," Jareth said. "We'll raid Dominion outposts. We'll take what we need. We're done running." A plan for war that night. The crew gathered in the hangar bay. Jareth stood in front of them, his voice carrying across the room. "Listen to me. Today we killed 4 Dominion ships. Tomorrow we will kill more. But this is not just about revenge. This is about survival. If we don't fight, they will find us, and they will finish what they started." He pointed to the Revenant, its black hull glowing faintly. "This is our future. We will build a fleet. We will strike back. And when the Dominion looks at the stars, they will fear the name of humanity again." The crew erupted in cheers. Their fear replaced by something new, hope. The last seen hook far away. Admiral Rilker's massive fleet began to gather. Hundreds of ships assembled, preparing to burn through the Black Reach and crush whatever humans remained. But as the Dominion plotted its attack, in the shadows of a dead galaxy, humanity's first black warship floated silently, its weapons glowing like the eyes of a predator. Captain Jareth Cole looked at the stars and whispered, "You tried to erase us. Now we will erase you." The Revenant hovered in the hangar of the horizon's dawn, its black surface shimmering like liquid shadows. It was more than a warship now. It was a promise, a weapon born from an ancient forge, built to defy the Dominion. "Captain," Jareth Cole stood in front of his crew. The faces staring back at him were no longer the faces of refugees. They were harder now, their eyes burning with purpose. "We can't survive by hiding," Jareth said. "The Dominion will find us sooner or later. If we want to build an empire, we need resources, metal, fuel, tech, and there's only one way to get them. We fight," Ilara Miles finished, her voice steady, despite her fear. Jareth nodded. "Fight," a target chosen, the Black Forge had mapped several nearby systems. Most were dead, filled with broken ships and shattered worlds. But one on the Dominion's outer rim pulsed with activity. It was a supply world called Kelros, for a mining and storage hub. It wasn't heavily defended. The Dominion believed there were no threats left in that sector, perfect for a raid. Rian, the weapons officer, said with a grim smile, "Hit them where it hurts." Jareth pointed to the holographic map. "We strike fast. The Revenant will be the spearhead. The Horizon's dawn will hang back. Hit their fuel depots, grab what we can, and vanish before they can respond." Crew prepares, the survivors worked through the night, loading the Revenant with what few weapons and supplies they had. Alara made final adjustments to the alien systems. "The ship feels ready," she said, almost whispering. "It's like it knows what's coming." Jareth placed a hand on the black hull. The ship vibrated faintly, like a heartbeat. For a moment, he felt something strange, a connection, as if the Revenant was alive and listening. The Dominion outpost Colossus IV was a dusty, red-brown world with sprawling mines and storage yards. Orbiting above it were a 3 Dominion patrol. Ships, lazy and unprepared. Inside one of the patrol ships, the commander, a tall insectoid alien named Varric, watched the scanners. "No activity. The Terrans are dead. This sector is quiet," another officer laughed. "The Council says the Terrans were always weak. One strike, and they broke." They were still laughing when the Revenant appeared. The Predator arrives. Black warship dropped out of faster-than-light travel, silent as death. It didn't broadcast any signals. It didn't ask for identification. It simply moved. The Dominion patrols scrambled. "It's unidentified vessel. State your allegiance," Varric shouted over the comms. The Revenant gave no answer. Instead, its weapons. Lit up. The first kill. Jareth's voice was calm inside the command chamber. "Target the lead patrol ship. Fire." The Revenant's black lances of energy sliced through space. The Dominion patrol ship didn't even have time to raise its shields before it exploded in a burst of white fire. The second patrol ship opened fire, plasma beams streaking toward the Revenant. But the black ship moved like water, twisting and dodging with impossible speed. Elara's voice cracked over. "Comes, Captain, this thing fights like it's alive." "Then let it," Jareth said coldly. "Take out the others." Fear in the Dominion, the remaining patrols tried to retreat, but the Revenant was faster. In less than 3 minutes, all 3 Dominion ships were burning wreckage. From the surface of Kelros IV, the Dominion outpost watched in horror. "What is happening up there?" a ground officer shouted. "Who is attacking us?" The Revenant Anne. The Black Reach was silent but not empty, hidden among the broken planets and dead stars. The Dominion's strike force moved like a swarm of predators. 50 warships, led by Admiral Rilker's flagship, the Vrax Eternal, slid through the darkness with engines off, relying on stealth. "We have them cornered," Rilker hissed, his 6 eyes narrowing as he studied the holomap. "The Terrans think they can rebuild? They think they are clever, but no prey escapes the Dominion." The warning signal far away, inside the Horizon's dawn, alarms screamed. "Captain, long-range sensors are picking up movement," said Rian, the weapons officer. "It's big. Too big." Elara Miles rushed to the console, her hands trembling. "I'm reading multiple signatures. Dozens of them. It's a Dominion fleet." The room went silent. Everyone understood what that meant. The Dominion wasn't sending patrols anymore. They were sending an execution force. Captain Jareth Cole stood at the center of the bridge, his face hard. "Found us faster than I expected." "What do we do, sir?" Lara asked, her voice barely steady. Jareth's answer came without hesitation. "We fight, and this time we show them what the Black Fleet can do." The Black Fleet. The Forge had been busy since the raid on Kelros IV, where there had once been only the Revenant. There were now 5 black warships, sleek, deadly vessels, with glowing blue veins and weapons unlike anything humanity had ever built. Alara stood in the shadow of the growing fleet, awe and fear mixing in her chest. "Captain, I don't think these ships are just machines anymore," she whispered. "The Forge. It's making them smarter. I can feel it when I work with them." Jareth didn't deny it. He could feel the same thing. When he placed his Hand on the command pedestal of the Revenant, it was like the ship could read his thoughts. "Then let them be smart," he said grimly, "because we're going to need every advantage we can get." The Dominions approached the Dominion fleet. Entered the Black Reach with shields up and weapons charged. "Admiral," one of Rilker's officers reported, "scanners show strange energy readings ahead. It's not Dominion tech or Terran, it's something else." Rilker's claws scraped the table. "And destroy it. I don't care what. They've found burn it to ash." The calm before battle inside the Revenant, Jareth addressed his crew via comms. "Listen to me. We're outnumbered 10-1. But numbers don't matter anymore. We have ships they've never seen before. We fight smart, we strike hard, and we don't stop until they're gone." Rian grinned, despite the fear in his eyes. "Finally, we get to see what these black beauties can really do," Alara added softly. "If they can do what I think they can, we might survive this." The ambush the Dominion fleet advanced cautiously through the ruins of shattered moons. They didn't see the Revenant until it was too late. The black warship dropped out of the shadow of a dead planet, its weapons glowing like lightning. "Fire," Jareth ordered. A storm of black energy lances tore through the first Dominion cruiser, ripping it apart in seconds. The Dominion fleet responded with a barrage of plasma fire, but the Revenant moved like no normal ship, twisting and vanishing between shots. The others. Jareth shouted, from behind the wreckage of an asteroid belt, for more black warships. Emerged, their engines screaming like predators unleashed. Together, they struck as one, cutting into the Dominion fleet like blades. The Dominions shocked, and the Vrax eternal. Admiral Relker watched in disbelief as one after another, his ships, fell. "What are these weapons?" he roared. "How are they cutting through our shields?" An officer stammered. "Admiral, they're using some kind of energy we can't read. It's alive." Rilker's eyes narrowed.
"Oh."
"Kill it! All ships. Focus fire on the lead vessel. I want that black ship destroyed." The Revenant's fury. The Dominion fleet turned its guns on the Revenant. Dozens of plasma bolts and torpedoes filled the void. The black warship didn't back down. Jareth closed his eyes and let the ship guide him. It moved like a living thing, dodging and twisting through the barrage. "Target their flagship," Jareth said, his voice cold. The Revenant's weapons glowed brighter, charging for a strike. Firing. Single lance of black energy shot forward, hitting a Dominion destroyer. Didn't just explode, it disintegrated, its hull crumbling into dust. Alara gasped. "Captain, that wasn't a normal shot. The ship's power, it's growing." Turning point, the Black Fleet tore through the Dominion formation with terrifying precision. The Dominion, used to slow, predictable Terran ships, couldn't keep up with. "These predators," Rian laughed over the comms, "we're carving them apart. Look at them run." But it wasn't over. The Vrax Eternal charged forward, its massive cannons powering up. It fired a blast so strong it ripped apart a nearby moon. The shockwave shook the Revenant. "Shields at 60%, Ilara shouted. "Stay on it," Jareth growled. "Take the flagship, and the rest will fall." The death of the flagship, the Revenant, and two other black ships moved as one, dodging the Vrax Eternal's heavy guns. "Bring me in close," Jareth ordered. The Revenant darted through the Dominion formation, weaving between explosions. When it reached the flagship, it unleashed every weapon at once. The black energy lances cut into the Vrax Eternal's hull, tearing through its shields like they weren't there. Relker's crew screamed as the ship's systems failed. "Admiral," an officer shouted. The Terran ship, the rest of his words were lost as the flagship exploded in a blinding flash. Victory. And a warning, the surviving Dominion ships scattered, retreating into the dark. The humans didn't chase them. On the Revenant, Jareth stood silently, staring at the wreckage of the once mighty fleet. Rian's voice crackled over comms. We just wiped out 50 Dominion warships. Captain, we actually did it." However, looked uneasy. Did we win? Or did we just wake something worse? The forge keeps getting stronger every time we fight. I don't know how far this will go. Jareth didn't answer her. She just looked at the stars. "Send a message," he said finally. "Let the galaxy know humanity is alive. The Dominions." "Rajin, the Dominion capital, news of the defeat spread like wildfire. The High Speaker slammed his hand on the council table. One Terran ship destroyed an entire fleet? Impossible, Admiral. Rilker's transmission played across the room. His face was scarred from the battle, his voice cold. It's not one ship anymore. The Terrans have found something. If we do not stop them now, we will lose everything. The last scene hooked back in the Black Reach. The forge roared with energy, as if celebrating victory. New ships were already rising from its depths, larger, faster, and deadlier. Jareth stood on the bridge of the Revenant, watching his fleet grow. His voice was low, filled with iron. The Dominion wanted war. Now they'll get it. The camera of your story would end with the image of the Black Fleet forming up, engines glowing like blue fire as they prepared for the next strike. The Dominion believed that fear alone would keep the galaxy under its control. For centuries, they crushed rebellions before they began. Worlds that resisted were burned, their people erased. But now, there was a whisper across the stars. The Terrans are alive, and they are striking back. The plan inside the horizon's dawn, the black warships hovered in the void like silent predators. Their dark hulls shimmered faintly under the light of a dead sun. Captain, Jareth Cole stood in the command chamber with his crew gathered around the holographic map. The map showed Varia's Prima Dominion stronghold world, home to a shipyard that built half of the Dominion's outer fleet. If we hit this place, Jareth said, his voice calm and sharp, they'll know humanity isn't hiding anymore. We won't just be survivors. We'll be a threat. Rian smirked. About time we brought the fight to them. Elara Miles frowned.
Captain?
Vari's Prime isn't like Kelro's 4. It's heavily defended. They have orbital cannons, shield networks, and dozens of warships. Which is why we'll hit them fast and hard, Jareth replied. No warnings. We cut their heart out before they even know we're there. Forged for war, the Black Forge had changed since the last battle. Strange. Living machines were working faster now, almost eager. Every day new warships rose from its depths. Some were sleek and fast like hunters. Others were larger, built like dark fortresses, with weapons powerful enough to tear apart a Dominion battleship. The humans named their fleet, the Revenant, their flagship, still unmatched. The Phantom, the Obsidian, the Widow, the Iron Shade, for fast attack vessels. The Abyssal Fang, a heavy warship with twin black energy cannons. Elara walked through the hangar, running her hand over the smooth alien hulls. These ships, they feel like they're alive. They're growing stronger with every battle. Jareth stood beside her. Then let's give them a war to remember. The infiltration, the Black Fleet entered the Varus Prime system under silent warp, slipping through the edges of Dominion patrol routes. The Dominion shipyards below were massive orbital rings stretching across the sky, filled with half-built cruisers and rows of supply ships. Captain Rian said, eyes on the scanners. They have at least 20 ships in orbit, maybe more, plus planetary defenses. If they spot us, they won't, Jareth said. We'll hit them from the shadows. It's a first strike. The Black Fleet split into 2 groups. The Revenant and the Obsidian stayed in high orbit, ready to draw fire. The Abyssal Fang and Widow moved to flank the shipyards, their engines barely glowing as they powered up their weapons. Fire, Jareth ordered. The first shot from the Abyssal Fang cut through a Dominion cruiser like a blade. The Black Reach was quiet, but there was no peace in its silence. The Black Fleet's 7 ships strong floated near the forge, their dark hulls glowing faintly like beasts resting before another hunt. Inside the Revenant, Captain Jareth Cole stood in the command chamber, staring at the strange energy readings on the main display. This signal isn't from the Dominion, Lara Miles said, her voice tight. It's older, much older, and the forge is responding to it. Another Shart's jaw tightened. Another forge? Elara nodded. Yes, and it's awake. Whatever it is, it's building something. The Dominion's desperation far from the Black Reach. The Dominion High Command gathered in secret. Admiral Rilker stood before the High Speaker and the leaders of 3 other alien empires. The Kerr, Scifi, and the Vathar. These species rarely work together, but fear had forced them into the same room. Varese Prime is gone, Rilke growled. An entire shipyard destroyed by these Terran shadows. Our fleets are falling apart. If we don't unite, they will tear us apart piece by piece. The Zeri leader, a crystalline being with a voice like shattering glass, spoke sharply. You said the Terrans were weak. You said they were dead. Rilke's eyes narrowed. I was wrong. Whatever they've found, it isn't Terran technology. It's something ancient, something dangerous. Then we burn them together. The Vathar warlord hissed. One empire alone cannot stop this, but many might. The High Speaker slammed his clawed hand on the table. Then it settled. We will form a united fleet. We will erase humanity once and for all. The Forge's warning back in the Black Reach. The Forge's voice echoed through the hangar like a whisper carried on steel. You are not alone. Another Forge awakens. It is not of your blood. It remembers war, and it does not care for you. Alara shivered. Captain, I think the Forge is warning us. This other one. It doesn't want allies. It wants control. Jareth stepped closer to the glowing core of the Forge. Where is it? The Forge answered with a projection of a distant star-clustered, a ruined expanse. A place no ship dared to go. The first signed scouts from the Black Fleet were sent to investigate the signal. They returned with terrifying footage, a massive structure similar to the Black Forge, but darker, twisted, and violent in design. Round it floated ships not Dominion ships, but something alien, something worse. Those aren't ours, Rion muttered as the footage played. What the hell is that thing building? Ilara's face went pale. Whatever it is, it's bigger than the Revenant, and it's growing faster than our Forge. The debate the crew gathered in the Horizons Dawn's war room were already fighting the Dominion, Rian said, slamming his hand on the table. Now you're saying there's another threat? One we don't even understand? Lara looked at Jareth. Captain, if this other Forge wakes fully, it might see us as an enemy too. We need to decide now, do we attack it before it grows, or do we focus on the Dominion? Jareth's gaze was cold and steady. Both. We can't give either of them a chance to crush us. The Dominion moves while humanity debated. The Dominion's united fleet launched its campaign. 70 ships, war cruisers, dreadnoughts, and carrier vessels gathered under Rilke's command. They were coming for the Black Reach. This time, Rilke said with a cruel smile, we end the Terran problem forever. The Black Fleet's response, the humans prepared. The Black Forge was building 2 new warships, massive carriers with living weapon bays. The crew named them the Eclipse and the Harbinger. Ilara watched as the Forge poured energy into the new ships. Captain, the Forge is working at full power. We give it time, we can have 10 warships ready for the next battle. Jareth shook his head. We don't have time. They're coming. The encounter in the ruined expanse before the Dominion's fleet arrived. Jareth made a bold move. He took the Revenant, the Widow, and the Phantom into the ruined expanse too. Scout the other Forge. The sight shook them all. Shadow Forge was massive, even larger than theirs, and it wasn't building ships, it was growing them. Its vessels looked alive, with black chitin-like armor and glowing red cores. One of the alien warships spotted them. Incoming, Rian shouted. They're faster than they look. The battle with the shadow ships, the first shadow warship struck. Like a predator, firing beams of searing energy that cut through asteroids like knives. The Revenant dodged and fired back, but its weapons barely scratched the enemy's hull. Captain, we're outgunned, Alara warned. We need to get out of here. Jareth's jaw clenched. Not yet. We need to know what they're capable of. Another shadow ship joined the attack. The Widow's shields dropped to 40%, sparks flying across its bridge. We can't take much more, its captain shouted. The escaped Dreth made his decision. All ships, retreat. Jump to the Black Reach now. The black warships jumped. Out just as the Shadow Forge's weapons powered up, their red glow chasing them into faster-than-light space. When they arrived back in the Black Reach, the crew was silent. We're not just fighting the Dominion anymore, Ilara whispered. We're fighting something worse. something that doesn't care who we are. The Dominion's arrivals, if things weren't bad enough, alarms blared across the Black Forge's fleet. Captain Rian shouted, "Dominion fleet incoming 70 warships. They found us." Jareth looked at the growing Black Fleet. They had 7 ships fully armed, with 2 more nearly ready. It wasn't enough. "Prepare for battle," he said quietly. "We're about to fight for everything." The last scene hooked far away. The Shadow Forge pulsed with red energy. Dozens of its twisted warships floated in formation, watching the stars. Something within it whispered, like a voice carried across space. "War is coming. All will be consumed." The part ends with the Dominion fleet arriving in the Black Reach, their guns glowing as they face off against Jareth's Black Fleet while the Shadow Forge Watha Black Reach burned. The Dominion Fleet 70 warships strong entered the sector like a storm of fire and steel. Their massive cannons glowed, aimed directly at humanity's Black Fleet. On the other side of the system, a darker threat stirred the Shadow Forge and its twisted living ships, watching and waiting. Inside the Revenant, Captain Jareth Cole stood on the bridge. "They've all come for us," he said quietly. "Dominion wants us dead. The Shadow Forge wants to consume everything. We either stand now, or we vanish forever." The fleet assembles. The Black Forge had completed 9 ships, each one a nightmare of alien and human design, alongside the Revenant, the Eclipse, and the Harbinger. The other Black warships formed a crescent wall around their home. Ilara Miles stared at the tactical display. "We're outnumbered almost 8 to 1, she said, "even with the Black ships. We can't hold this line forever." Rian cracked his knuckles. "Then we don't hold. We break them." Jareth's eyes burned. "We fight both of them on our terms." The Dominion's challenge from the Dominion flagship Vrax Eternal II, Admiral Rilker sent a broadcast. "Terran Captain, your defiance ends here. Surrender your fleet, and I may spare your lives." Jareth stared at the screen and gave a cold smile. "You couldn't kill us when we were weak. What makes you think you can kill us now?" He cut the channel. "Weapons hot. Target their lead ships." The first clash the Dominion fleet opened fire, their plasma cannons painting the void with green and blue streaks. The Black warships moved like predators, weaving between the shots. The Revenant fired first, its black energy lances cutting through a Dominion cruiser like it was made of paper. "One down," Juan shouted. But another Dominion destroyer hit. The Widow, dropping its shields by half. "Keep moving," Jareth barked. "Do not let them pin us down." The battle raged, explosions lighting the dead system like 1,000 suns. The Shadow joins the fight then. Without warning, the Shadow Forge moved. From the far side of the Black Reach, 20 red glowing warships surged forward, their hulls twisting like living things. They didn't care about sides. They fired on everyone, Dominion and humans alike. "They're attacking both fleets," Ilara shouted. Jareth's voice turned hard. "Then we use that chaos. Focus on the Dominion. Let the shadows tear into them first." The Dominions. "Panic on the Vrax Eternal too," Admiral Rilker roared in fury as his ships started falling not just to the humans, but to the red warships. "What is this?" he demanded. "These are not Terran ships." Admiral and officer said nervously, "The shadows are destroying our flanks. We can't fight both." Rilker slammed his claws on the console. "Then we crush the humans first. All guns on the Black Fleet." The trapped Jareth saw the Dominion tightening their formation, trying to cut off his ships. "Ilara, bring the Eclipse and Harbinger around. We'll flank them." Ilalala. The Black Fleet moved like a pack of wolves, splitting into 2 groups. While the Dominion focused on the Revenant, the Harbinger launched a barrage of drones' living weapons that swarmed like a storm, tearing into the enemy's hulls. 2 more Dominion ships down, Rian reported. "Good," Jareth said coldly. "Keep hitting them until they can't see straight." The Shadow Forge reveals its weapon, but the Shadow Forge wasn't done. A massive, shadow ship twice the size of the Revenant emerged from the darkness. Its red core pulsed like a beating heart, and with one shot, disintegrated a Dominion battleship. Ilara stared at the readings, pale. Captain, that ship isn't just using energy weapons. It's eating what it destroys. Eating itself. Jareth's voice was calm, but inside his heart pounded. Then we kill it first. The Unlikely Alliance of Jareth opened a broadcast to the Dominion. Rilker, listen, see. The battlefield was silent. The wreckage of the Dominion fleet drifted across the Black Reach, glowing embers of metal and shattered warships turning slowly in the dark. The Black Fleet had won. But victory carried a cost. The aftermath inside the Revenant, the crew worked tirelessly to repair the ship. Sparks showered the decks as engineers patched hull breaches. Forge's strange, living metal crawled over the wounds of the warship, sealing them with a hiss. Alara Miles leaned against the command console, exhausted. We survived, but we lost 2 ships, the Iron Shade and the Widow. Rianne's voice was heavy. We barely made it out. If that shadow ship had lasted another minute, we'd all be floating wreckage right now. Captain Jareth Cole stood, silently at the center of the bridge. His eyes were on the stars, but his thoughts were elsewhere. This isn't over, he said at last. The Dominion is broken, but they'll rebuild. And the Shadow Forge. It's still out there. The Signal A warning light flashed on the main console. Captain Alara said, scanning the data, "We're picking up a transmission, not from the Dominion, not from any known frequency." Walked to her side. "Where is it coming from?" Alara hesitated. "The ruined expanse. Same direction as the Shadow Forge. But this isn't a threat signal. It's a distress call." "Distress?" Rianne frowned. "From who?" "Nothing lives in that cursed region." The debate the crew gathered in the war room? "We can't answer this," Rianne said firmly. "It's a trap. Shadow Forge wants to lure us out." Alara shook her head. "What if it isn't? What if someone else is fighting them? Someone who knows what we're dealing with?" Jareth remained quiet for a moment. Then he said, "We can't ignore this. The Shadow Forge is too dangerous. If someone is out there, we need to find them." Rianne groaned. "A die trying." The forge evolves. Meanwhile, the Black Forge was changing. Its core pulsed brighter than ever, as if feeding on the energy of the recent battle. New ships were already rising from its depths, sleeker, stronger, and faster. Ilara walked along the edge of the forge's platform, watching the new hulls take shape. "It's learning," she whispered. "It's adapting every time we fight. Captain, I think it's growing beyond us." Jareth placed his hand on the living metal. For a second, he felt something strange, like the forge was trying to speak to him. "Then let's hope it's still on our side," he murmured. The Dominion's shadows far away. The Dominion High Command was in ruins. Their fleets were shattered. Their leaders were divided. But Admiral Rilker was not dead. On a hidden Dominion station, Rilker stood before a group of surviving commanders. His face was burned, one of his 6 eyes gone from the last battle. "The Terrans think they've won," he growled. "But they don't understand we will not stop. We will rise again, and this time we will hunt them to extinction." "Wait," one of his aides asked nervously. "And the Shadow Forge?" Rilker's gaze hardened. "We find a way to control it. Or we destroy it." Journey to the ruined expanse, the Revenant, the Eclipse, and 4 other Black warships prepared for a dangerous mission to investigate the distress call. "Set a course," Jareth ordered. "Keep us cloaked until we know what we're walking into." The fleet slipped into faster-than-light travel, leaving the Black Forge behind. The stars blurred as they crossed the void toward the ruined expanse. What they found, the expanse, was worse than they imagined. Dead planets floated like broken bones. Strange energy storms ripped through space, and there among the wreckage of old battles floated a ship. But it wasn't a Dominion ship. It wasn't human either. The vessel was massive, almost the size of the Revenant, and its hull was covered in strange markings that glowed faintly blue. It looked ancient. Captain Alara whispered, "This ship is broadcasting the distress call. But I'm not reading any life signs." The ghost ship Jareth ordered a boarding team. "Rianne, Alara, you're with me." We're going to see what's inside. The three of them entered the alien vessel through a fractured hangar bay. The interior was dark, silent, and cold. The walls pulsed faintly, like the heartbeat of something long dead. "This doesn't feel like a ship," Rian muttered. "It feels like a tomb." They reached the control chamber, and there they found a body. It wasn't human. It wasn't Dominion. It was something else entirely. A tall, slender figure with armor fused into its skin. In its hand, it held a data crystal. ELARA reached for it. "Captain, I think this is what sent the signal." The warning back on the Revenant, they decoded the crystal. The message was simple but terrifying. The Shadow Forge is not alone. It is one of many. If you hear this, you must destroy it before it calls the others. Do not let the forges awaken. Fully, they will consume everything. The crew stared at the projection in stunned silence. "There are more of them," Rian said, his voice low. Lyra whispered, "What if ours is one of them too?" The Black Forge reacts when they returned. To the Black Forge, they found it glowing brighter than ever. Ships were forming faster than they could count, and in its depths, something new was rising, a warship larger than any they'd seen before. Jareth stood on the platform, watching the Colossus emerge. "What are you building now?" he asked quietly. The forge pulsed and a whisper filled his mind. "To fight the shadows, I must become stronger. I will make you a weapon that no one can stand against." The hook ending but far beyond the Black Reach, the Shadow Forge was already moving. Its twisted fleet had grown to 30 warships, all glowing with the same red energy. And in the deep void, other signals began to pulse, faint but unmistakable. More forges were awakening. The part ends with Jareth looking out over his growing fleet, his voice low but full of fire. "They tried to erase Earth. Now we fight for the galaxy itself. If the forges want war, we'll give them one." The Black Forge was alive. Its massive structure pulsed with dark energy, sending ripples through the void like the heartbeat of a giant. The humans who once saw it as a weapon now stood in awe and fear. "Captain," Gareth. Cole watched from the Revenant's command deck as a colossal warship larger than any they had built slowly emerged from the forge's depths. Its black surface was veined with glowing silver lines, and its shape was both alien and beautiful, like a blade forged by gods. Captain Alara Miles said softly, "That ship. It feels different. It's like the forge is building something for itself." The whispering, the quiet of the bridge, Jareth felt it again. The voice wasn't words exactly, but emotions, thoughts, and flashes of meaning. "You seek to survive." The forge whispered, "I seek to live. The shadows are my kin, and they will not stop. I need you, Jareth Cole, but one day you will need me more." Jareth gripped the console. "What are you?" he whispered under his breath. The forge answered with a single word: "Memory." The warning from the ghost ship, the decoded message from the alien data crystal still haunted them. Destroy the forges before they awaken fully. Lara slammed her hand on the console. "Captain, we have to consider it. What if the Black Forge isn't on our side? What if it's using us as much as we're using it?" Rian crossed his arms. "We'd all be dead without this forge. It's the only reason we beat the Dominion, and now it's building something we didn't ask for," Alara shot back. "You don't see the danger?" Jareth stayed silent, staring at the growing warship outside. "I see it, but we don't have a choice. It's not with the Shadow Forge out there." It's the Shadow Armadescos reported terrifying news. The Shadow Forge had finished building its own super warship, a monstrous vessel the humans called the Devourer. Its hull glowed blood red. It was leading 30 shadow warships toward the edge of the Black Reach. "They're coming," Alara said, her voice trembling. "In less than 4 days, they'll be here." Rian smirked bitterly. "Ellet!" "At least we won't die of boredom." The Council of Wardrith gathered his officers in the war room. A holographic map of the galaxy glowed before them. "We have 2 enemies," he said. "The Dominion remnants, who are already trying to rebuild, and the Shadow Forge, which wants to consume everything. If we fail here, the galaxy burns." Ilara crossed her arms. "We can't take 30 ships head-on, Captain. Even with our new warship, we'll be outnumbered and outgunned." "Then we don't fight head-on," Jareth said. We used the forge, all of it. The Black Titan the Colossal warship finished construction. It was unlike anything they had seen before, 5 kilometers long, its hull shimmering with living metal and black energy. It had no name, but when Jareth stepped aboard, the ship's systems seemed to come alive. The forge whispered, "I am your sword. Together, we will cut down the shadows." "What should we call it?" Rianne asked. Jareth stared at the massive ship's spine-like core. The Black Titan. The Shadow's arrival 3 days later. The Shadow Armada entered the Black Reach. The space around them warped with their energy. The Devourer led the fleet, its massive red eye-like core glowing brighter than a star. "They're here, Alara," said her voice tense. 31 ships.
Oh.
"Then this is it," Jareth said. "Every ship we have launch. The Black Fleet, now 12 ships strong, including the Revenant and the Black Titan, rose like predators from the forge. The battle to decide the future of humanity. And maybe the galaxy was about to begin. The Battle of the Black Reach, the two fleets clashed with a fury that shook the stars. Black energy beams met red, creating storms of destruction in the void. Shadow ships moved like living nightmares, their weapons tearing into the smaller black warships. The Revenant fired its black lances, destroying 2 shadow cruisers in seconds. But the